Well, we must start with Richard, if you don't mind, Yasmin, because you've had a bit of a week since we last saw you. You've had, I think it's regarded as Reform's best day ever.
Yes, we did. We did, absolutely, because we had our best by-election result declared on Friday morning.
Came third.
Where we came third within a whisker of coming second, 17%. That was way above what we're polling nationally. And we've been told we couldn't do that. In many wards across the north of England, we beat the Tories into second place. In Sunderland, we beat them in 16 of 25. In Barnsley, in 9 of 10. And on the south coast, we deposed a Tory council leader.
Where were your two councillors elected?
So we secured two councillors down in Havant. Our real focus, Jeremy, is on the general election. That's why I put a lot of effort
just doesn't seem that many, too.
Well, the reality is we only stood in a small number of council seats because we're going to stand in 630 seats across the whole of England, Scotland, Wales.
You feel sorry for the Greens, who won 181, but they don't seem to be interviewed half as often as you are.
Well, that's up to you. I don't set the media channels, but we're polling at 13, 14%. They're polling at 4, 5, 6%. Maybe that's the reason.
What do you think? Is there something going on here?
2 seats, Richard. All your exposure. You're on every channel all the time.
You sound jealous, Yasmin.
I'm not a party political leader.
But we're polling the third largest political party, Yasmin. That's why.
I'm going to call you Richard 2 seats now. Until you prove your...
2 seats
just like Lee Anderson is 30p, and I think we should call you Richard 2 seats.
Every time he's on, you're always very polite to him. I mean, that may change.
That's okay.
And the reason I've worked it out is because you think he's going to cost the Conservatives the election.
Yes, no, I really want them to do well. But you still just got 2 seats.
So we secured...
2 seats.
Yeah, we got a GLA Assembly member, which is elected under this much more sensible proportional representation system. So that's a very significant thing. We've got our MP, Lee Anderson. I'm very happy for people to try and sort of diss us. Let's wait for the general election. Let's wait for the general election, shall we, Yasmin? Let's see what happens.
I hope you do really well because it'll get rid of the Tories. But you still want 2 seats.
Yeah, but that's as he says, that's the council. I mean,
the Lib Dems. I'm shocked how little attention is being given to the Lib Dems.
What's going on with the Lib Dems? Oh, you think...
They did much better. Far better than was expected.
But rather like the Greens...
They're just ignored by the media.
Is it the media or something? I wondered whether Ed Davey...
They love him.
Yeah, but I wondered whether Ed Davey, the Lib Dem leader, got burnt by the whole post office scandal, right? And he can't then be very visible.
No, I think he's dull.
He's dull.
No one knows what their policies are. They're polling at about two-thirds of what we poll.
He's dull.
Their policies are nothing. Their policies is to be dull, maybe. I don't know.
Well, let's see.
But I want to show you. Kudos to them. They won those.
I want to show you a Green. So the Green Party we mentioned, one of their councillors was elected, and this happened.
It's a win for the people of Gaza who have been We will not be silent. We will raise the voice of Gaza. We will raise the voice of Palestine. Allahu Akbar.
So, what do you think of that? Because that's not necessarily a Green policy.
Allahu Akbar is God is great. That's all it is. I have it in my prayers every day. God is great. Allahu Akbar. It's got nothing to do with terrorism, with wanting to take over the West. But of course, Alison Pearson in the Telegraph started this whole thing. Are we saying we're not allowed to say God is great in English?
What do you think of it,
I tell you what, the issue is that actually it's a very intimidating chant that has no place in an election count. The other part of that video shows one of his supporters saying, if you are a Zionist or if you support the Jewish community, we're coming after you. Deeply intimidating. Yesterday in Glasgow, a man ran down a street with a chainsaw shouting Allahu Akbar. A few months ago, a gentleman murdered someone in Hartlepool shouting Allahu Akbar. So you might shake your head, Yasmin. The truth is, it doesn't matter what it means, it is intimidating.
And the weapons are wrong. Allahu Akbar is just God is great. You cannot take that right away from me. I would say it. I'm going to say it now. Allahu Akbar.
Yeah, the problem is that people are shouting it
when
they're trying to kill people.
Did he say
when
it in a way that
stabbing people with machetes. It is intimidating. No, it's not different.
That's different. I'm completely against violence.
Right, well then...
But I'm not against people saying Allah is great.
The issue is that
You're
people,
trying to silence us
not
from
at all.
saying God is great.
I'm just saying.
Why is that okay?
Maybe there's a time and a place.
Well,
Maybe you shouldn't
Yeah,
be shouting
I
it when
agree with that.
right when you're not running down a street with a chainsaw trying to kill a whole load of
didn't
people.
have a chainsaw.
But,
No,
wait a
but
minute.
yesterday in
He didn't
Glasgow,
have a chainsaw.
Let's be clear. That guy was elected as a Green councillor. Is there anything wrong with him behaving like that when he's been elected as a Green councillor?
Well, he didn't behave with dignity, but I don't think there was anything wrong with him saying God is great.
Maybe that's fine. Maybe it's fine.
The thing is, the
He's
Daily
not got
Mail
a
exposed
chainsaw.
him in February when he was to be a candidate, right? He was making vile anti-Semitic claims against a Jewish teacher in Leeds University who's had to go into hiding, calling him lowlife, a creep, vile, an animal. This is not the sort of expectation we have of candidates. I think it's
I
appalling.
should say we don't know quite what the man with the chainsaw shouted. I just want to say that. So from
And I think
editor's
it's
point
very
of view.
dishonest to bundle together somebody who says God is great with chainsaw murderers. I think that's so dishonest.
All right. Look, here's a different story. This is one for Richard, your leader. Well, is he? I don't know if he's your leader or not. Honorary president. No, you're the leader. All right, your honorary president. Yeah.
Honorary president.
There we are. Parked in a disabled space. So, is Nigel Farage disabled? Because he had a plane crash.
He had a very serious plane crash which nearly killed him.
Yes.
And he's actually, I mean, the reality is that he has all sorts of back pains and things. He can't play golf, which he used to play very well because of that, and other things. So, look.
So he's not, he doesn't have a blue badge.
I don't know. I've no idea
Well,
whether he does or he
have a
doesn't.
right
I
to
doubt
park.
it because that's not his style.
Will the party apologise?
What do we need to apologise for?
For parking in a disabled space?
Well, probably have a chat with his driver. I mean, Nigel has security issues, and always, which is just a fact of life. Sadly, I don't know. I mean, how long was he in the parking space?
45
No one
minutes.
quite knows.
45
Supposedly.
minutes. Yeah.
I think we've got better things to talk about.
Went off for a smoke. Either he did or the chauffeur did. I don't know. Okay, what do you think? You don't want to say anything on this?
Yeah, but
you've
can't get
okay,
it.
it's irrelevant.
I've
Bigger
got
fish
so
to
many.
fry.
It's irrelevant. We've got much bigger problems to talk about.
I've got
We've
so
got-
much more to
Quite right.
criticise in
All
Farage
right. After
than
the break.
fact that he parked. But I'm not surprised he did either.
Well, the point Richard makes is if you've had a plane crash, you've got a right to do it.
Well, if that's the reason, that's fine.
Okay.
But I think there's an entitlement issue too.